Let's take it back to 1999. Family Guy is airing on television for the first time, and this is our first introduction to the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Griffin. But who has become 21 years later?
Cheer up, rock forever. Cheer up, rock will never die. Cheer up, rock forever.
Something interesting to keep in mind when analyzing Peter Griffin is that Seth MacFarlane actually stopped working on the show 10 years ago as of this recording, in the year 2010. I think this gives us a good timeline to show how his character has changed from season to season. From Peter's personality, we know a few things about him. He's a comedic man while being extremely dim-witted. He's still a very well-meaning guy in his intentions despite his obvious flaws. He loves his family and will do whatever he can for them. But in recent years though, I believe the writers and Seth MacFarlane himself have forgotten that aspect of the character in the way they choose to portray him. From the beginning of the show, you'll see a pattern within the first few episodes. Peter messes up. He tries to make it better. Wacky hijinks ensue, as always. After all is said and done, we get a solution to the problem, and then Peter's family loves him again. As you can see, his main concern as a man and husband was always his family, and that's extremely endearing to the audience watching at home. That's what people loved about the show, and it made people come back every week to watch it. I think the best episode to show who I think Peter is as a character at this time would have to be season 2's episode, Let's Go to the Hop. Peter's character excels really well in both the father figure role and the comedic side. It lands both marks really well. And I think this is the essence of the character in its truest form. I'd show clips, but I'm scared of copyright strikes and claims and all that stuff. You know how YouTube is now. People always point to the show declining in quality when the show came back from being canceled. Which makes sense because the writers wanted to strike back with great episodes, and they did. The episodes and seasons that followed the show coming back from cancellation portrayed Peter in a more comedic way that overshadowed his more human qualities. I think during this time in the series, Peter takes on more of a caricature of the bumbling dad stereotype that has been beaten to death by that point. The episode that really points to this being a decision in the writer's room is the season 4 episode, Petarded. Much as I like this episode, this was definitely a massive turning point for what direction the character would go in moving forward. All in all, this was a formative time for the character and the series, and I think during this time period, Peter became a cautionary tale of what you shouldn't do when making a father character in cartoons. I saw a comment that says the most painful thing about this entire episode is in the end, Peter learns nothing. The statement sums up all that the show had become at this point. A show with no morals and values and is more willing to make a quick joke than say something that has important to viewers watching. Which is okay, but when you start a show off with a show about a man learning to love and sacrifice and be a good person, it's hard to not notice that things were starting to change for Peter in this world. Please subscribe. I have wife and kids and we need to eat. I don't have any money. Please do it. Please, 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 I'm begging. YouTube got me with a copyright strike. I'm gonna put this right here so I don't get it again. La 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 la. 2010 was the year Peter Griffin became unrecognizable to who he used to be, and it shows. The type of stories he gets into, the jokes he tells, and the utter lack of sense the character portrays. The episode I've always pinpointed for this shift in character is the season 9 opener, and then there was fewer. As much as I enjoyed this special season opener, I just feel like there's not a lot of positives at this point in the character's history. He has become the violence and sex on TV that the theme song jokes at. The show often makes Peter a borderline sociopath and thinks that if he does that stupid head turn camera zoom, that everything is alright. The writers rely on Peter making references and cutaways and treating his family like crap so much that they've forgotten the character's origins and what made him special and groundbreaking in the first place. Honestly, at this point in the series, it's too late to get back to form from the golden age of the series that we once had. Because no one really cares what Peter Griffin gets himself into anymore. This can be proven by its viewership rating and how it's declined throughout the years. With shows like Rick and Morty and Bob's Burger portraying the modern family of America better and more accurately, Peter and his shenanigans have just run dry. I believe Peter and all the stories he can tell are done. He served his purpose for television, and I believe it's time to move on and end. This point, how, and even when could it end? But I think that's a question for another day. Another long day. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Peace. I'll probably still watch the show because I have issues. Peace. I'm out.